Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and welcome here to Auto Center Drive here in Tustin. That is where I bought my first brand new truck, the GMC Canyon All-Terrain X, right there at Tustin, Buick and GMC. Memory lane. The Ram is due for its first oil change. We're currently at 6,867 miles. So welcome here to Tuttle Click Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. So being that the maintenance program that I bought for this truck is third party, I do have to have all those services done at the dealership I bought the truck from originally. That I didn't know off the bat. So we are on our way down to Coastline Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in San Juan Capistrano, about 25 minutes that way, because they were somehow able to get me into an appointment in 30 minutes from now. Welcome back here to Coastline Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram. And just like that, we are back to the 100% oil life. So randomly, and I left my camera in the truck, but Chief Keef just bought a new car here. How random is that? Welcome to the post office. It is mail time. Time to check on the P.O. box. All right, so we have a bunch of nonsense in these envelopes right here. And then we have a package. We have a road closed sign on both the left and the right side of the street. I feel like it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission, so I saw no sign. What about you guys? Okay, so the two little signs way back there were a little less intimidating than the sign right here, this sign right here that both say road closed, gate closed, no trespassing, no dumping, construction access only, no public access, no pedestrian or bicycle access. Full send. In all fairness, this could pass as a construction vehicle. I mean, we have the work box right there on the side of the bed. I mean, come on, we're good. And we are about to drive over the construction bumps. Yikes, I don't like these. Oh man, this is a prime. I've never driven over those things they have at construction sites. That was bumpy, but man, this is a prime spot for a photo shoot. What? How sick is this? I made it all of 2 seconds, and that guy over there, he's really cool. Security kicked me out though, so we're gone. And we are back on public roads. This might be a good opportunity to use the drone. We don't need to, but we can, so we should. Hopefully I don't crash it. That's always a concern of mine nowadays. But yeah, on that note, 3, 2, 1. We are out here just in time for the sunset. You guys, look at the way the sunlight hits that satin finish. Looks so sick. I parked this thing out in the sun basically all day, every single day, and that satin finish still looks really, really nice. Now, I might one day in the near future change the color of this wrap. I've been thinking about it, though I'm not looking forward to doing it because this is a lot of work. This truck required a lot of time. There's a lot of little areas, little things that had to come off the truck, such as this piece right here above the headlights and the grille. Wrapping this grille is not the easiest task in the world, not the hardest, but definitely very time consuming. The fender flares had to come off and get wrapped individually. The front bumper wasn't that bad. A lot of prep was involved for the rear bumper. So overall, I mean, it wasn't the most difficult wrap I've ever done, but definitely one of the more time-consuming ones lately. So first and foremost, let's see what we have in this package right here. John, thank you so much for the locking pin. Now we can put that shackle on the receiver. Now I need to not lose this key, so let's put this somewhere safe. If you guys have anything you want to send, products, gifts, money, I'm kidding, don't send money, but my PO box is linked below. In my hand here we have the receipt for the very first service performed on the Ram at 6,892 miles. It was basically just an oil change and a multi-point inspection. Now, unlike GM, you don't get a free service with the purchase of your new Ram. You are responsible for every service that needs to be done on the purchase of your new Ram financially. So we replaced the engine oil filter and the engine oil with 5-way 20. Parts came out to $61 and labor came out to $26.95, bringing everything to a grand total of $87.95. Now, I did not pay a dime for that today because I actually pre-purchased a maintenance plan when I bought the truck that covers this truck for the next 36,000 miles. So whatever service needs to be done, I drop the truck off every 6,000 miles and every service gets taken care of on the house. I paid exactly $1,000 for that. To me, I thought that was a pretty good deal. It was a little bit more expensive initially, but I ended up negotiating it down to $1,000. Thought that was a pretty good deal considering that even each oil change is almost $100 and everything gets done at the dealership as well. And if the service is going to take longer than a certain amount of hours or a day or something like that, then I get a free loaner as well. So it made sense to me to have everything done at the dealership and just make things a lot easier. That way I don't have to worry about where I'm gonna go and how much it's gonna be. Everything's covered for $1,000 for 36,000 miles. So you guys have been asking, and I'm here to answer why I traded in my 2019 Silverado for the 2020 Ram, why I went from one brand new full-size truck to another brand new full-size truck in less than a year. So nothing really changed on the 2019 Silverado versus the 2020, except for now you can option in that 3-liter baby Duramax in pretty much every trim level except for the work truck. You're also able to option in that amazing 6.2-liter powerful V8 in the lower end trim levels, as were before. It was only offered on the higher end trim levels, such as the RST, the LTZ, and the High Country. I believe were the only ones able to do it before. You're now able to throw that amazing powerful powertrain in the lower end trim levels as well without the luxury add-ons. So essentially nothing really changed. They've just opened up the option of optioning certain options without other options. You with me? So both the new body Silverado and the new body Ram have been drastically overhauled. They are nothing like the previous generation of either one, but they have been overhauled in very different ways, in my opinion. The Ram put a lot of emphasis on interior design, technology, convenience options, and a very generous amount of leather on the interior. The new Silverado squared up the body. They added a very, very aggressive looking front end that looks absolutely menacing, especially when you throw a couple of mods at it, and they now have more engine options than anybody even knows what to do with. So during my ownership of the GMC Canyon, when it came time to step into a full-size truck, I'll admit I didn't do a whole lot of looking around. I've always kind of been a GM fanboy myself, and it's all my family's ever really had. If they had a full-size truck or an SUV, it's all I've ever really wanted since the early middle school days was either a Tahoe or a Silverado, blacked out from bumper to bumper, double din screen in the dash, speakers in the back, the whole nine. So overall, it was just kind of familiar territory to me. Plus, at the time, nothing really slapped me in the face hard enough design-wise, which does go a long way with me, to drive me down to the dealership to take a further look. The Ram was definitely the runner-up, but it wasn't enough design-wise to drive me over there to take a further look, considering their previous reputation of not being the most reliable trucks. Now that kind of stuck with me, but apparently not a lot of others. By the very end of 2019, Ram had sold 633,000 units, which converts to an 18% increase in sales from the previous year alone. As for the Silverado, they only sold 575,000 of their light duty trucks. There's still a massive gap in sales between Ford and the Ram trucks, but Ford did suffer a 2% loss in sales, as where Ram went up 18%. So does that mean Ram's on their way to number one? Now the 2020 Silverado has a huge list of amazing things, starting with their amazing list of powertrains. I have them all here on a list so I don't mess anything up. Starting with their 2.7 turbo V6, their 4.3 liter V6, their 5.3 liter Ecotec V8, which is the one that I had, their 6.2 liter V8, and their newly offered 3 liter Turbo 6 diesel, aka the baby Duramax. And the list goes on. It had very responsive steering, it had amazing pulling power, a lot of room in the cab, and the biggest bed offered in class. Those were all great things, and the list goes on and on. It was an amazing truck, but there were some things that I was very unhappy with as well. The Silverados do kind of lack interior design, and I feel like a lot of people would agree with that. It's just not up to par with where the competition is at. Now, a lot of people may not find value in a luxurious interior on their truck, but some people do. I do. Therefore, I did find the new Rams to be somewhat appealing, as I do spend a lot of time on the inside of my truck. Another thing that I wasn't too happy with, that I didn't really know I was unhappy with until I hopped out of the Ram into the Silverado, was the resolution of the backup camera on the Silverado. On the backup camera of the Ram is like 4K. It is so defined. You can see everything, even at night. When backing up in the Silverado at night, the camera was basically useless. There was a little more to it than just a couple of little things I wasn't happy with the Silverado, which I was never really unhappy with in the first place. It was just that Ram was doing it better. So when I hopped out of the Ram back into the Silverado, that's when comparing the two, I was a little disappointed with what I had, considering how much I was paying for the truck. There are some other reasons why I went from the Silverado to the Ram. So when I bought the Silverado, I did just that. I took a loan out for the Silverado and bought it with borrowed money at a 5.9% through GM Financial. If you guys are wondering what the cost of ownership was on the Silverado, there's a link in the description below to that video. I am no financial Einstein, as a lot of you guys would probably agree, but it did make more sense to get out of the loan I had in the Silverado and lease the new Ram. So the Ram is actually a lease. I'll have a full breakdown of what it costs to own this truck coming very, very soon, so stay tuned for that. A lot of you guys are probably wondering how I'm able to modify a truck that's a lease, how I'm adding a lift kit, a wrap, window tint, wheels, tires, exhaust, etc., and the truck has to be returned in its stock form. Well, that's easy. Everything that I've done to my truck is completely reversible. The lift kit is bolt-on. The wheels and tires, I still have the stock ones at home. The window tint can be peeled right off, and the wrap can be peeled off as well. So everything I've done to this truck, including the exhaust, I still have all of these stock parts at home. So everything can be reversed if I chose to keep the truck until the end of my lease term. Two, there is always the option of either buying or selling the truck before the lease term is over. I do have a buyout price in my contract, which gives me the ability to either buy it to own or sell it, and whatever negative equity is attached to it, pay the difference. Either way though, there is no real commitment with the lease. You just have to be willing to pay the pre-negotiated purchase price of the buyout. Now, design-wise, it's a very subjective opinion on which one looks better. I think they're both very good-looking trucks. It just came down to the options that the Ram had to offer that the Silverado did not, which is the main reason why I made the switch. I gotta be honest, I have not used my Z-Flash module in quite some time, but it is still working as designed. Pretty cool little device to have, especially combined with the last bit lights up top. Boy, look how bright those things are. But yeah, cool thing to have, especially if you are in the construction field, or you work on the side of the road, or you are somewhere where you have to notify other drivers that you are there. This is definitely a good thing for you to have. But that is all I have for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed. I will catch you guys on the next one. Till then, peace out.